you take up running. 3 mornings a week, a month straight. You get on the scales expecting the number to be down, and it's barely moved. That's really common, and it's worth knowing why, because the same thing is quietly happening to your money. Once you see it, your body and your money start to look like the same problem, running on the same handful of rules. Start with the running. It's not that it does nothing. A hard run burns a few hundred calories, and that's real. The trouble is what happens next, because your body quietly takes a lot of it back. You're a bit hungrier, so lunch is a bit bigger. And for the rest of the day, you do a little less without noticing. You sit longer, take the lift, feel wiped out by the evening. You spent more, so your body spends less, and it claws back a fair bit of what you burned. Underneath a lot of that is one small thought. I've earned it. You earned the bigger lunch. You earned the evening on the sofa. And the moment you decide you've earned something, you stop counting it, which is the same 3 words that empty a bank account. You save £30 on the shop, so you treat yourself to something that costs 40. You get the pay rise you'd wanted for years, and it slowly turns into a slightly nicer life, and a year on, you couldn't say where it went. The reward was never the problem. It's the little top-up you give yourself straight afterwards, the one you never quite decide to make. That's one way people wreck both. The opposite mistake wrecks them just as often, going too hard. When you finally get serious, the instinct is to throw everything at it, run flat out every day, cut your food right back. And it works, for about 2 weeks, until you're injured or starving or so sick of it that you stop. It turns out that isn't how the people who are actually good at it train. The research on top endurance athletes keeps finding the same surprising thing. They do the big majority of their training easy, well within themselves, with only a small share of it hard. They get there by doing something gentle enough to keep up for years, not by going heroic and burning out. Money's the same. The person trying to get rich fast, chasing the hot stock, or borrowing to bet bigger, tends to blow up and end up out of the game, while the boring one who just puts a bit away every month and leaves it alone quietly ends up ahead. What wins is finding something you can still be doing in 10 years, not trying hardest for 1 month. The steady, boring version is also easy to miss, for one simple reason: nobody can sell it to you. There's a whole industry selling the fast version of a body, the cleanse, the 12-week transformation, and another selling the fast version of money, the hot tip, the course that'll make you rich by Christmas. Those can be packaged up and sold. The real answer can't. Eat a bit less and move a bit more, for years. Spend a bit less than you earn and put the difference away, for years. There's nothing to sell in that, so it gets drowned out by the things that shout. And even when you're doing the boring thing right, there's a stretch where it feels like nothing's happening, and that's where most people give up. Train properly for 3 weeks, and the mirror looks the same. Invest steadily for the first few years, and your pot is basically just the money you put in, with barely any growth on top yet. Both of them work slowly at first, and then much faster later. So early on, it genuinely looks like it isn't working. People quit right there, not because they were doing it wrong, but because it hadn't started to show yet. The hard part was never knowing what to do. It's carrying on while nothing seems to be. And there's a part of it that makes it worse, and it's the same in both. Stopping doesn't leave you where you were, it takes you backwards. Stop training and your muscle quietly wastes away, a bit at a time, without you deciding anything. Leave your money sitting in cash, and inflation does the same thing to it, eating a little of what it can buy, most years. In both, standing still isn't really an option. Doing nothing is a slow decline, so you have to keep putting something in just to stay in the same place. Which is why the parts that look like doing nothing are often the ones holding it all up. Rest is a good example. A rest day feels like slacking, but it's when your body actually repairs itself and gets stronger. And skipping it is how you get hurt. Money has the same thing, and it's the boring bit of spare cash you keep aside, a few months' worth, doing nothing exciting. It feels lazy, sitting there earning little. But it's the thing that lets you get through a bad month, a lost job, a surprise bill, without having to tear up the whole plan. In both, the quiet reserve is what carries you through the rough patch instead of being knocked out by it. And being knocked out is the real risk, because the thing that ends both fastest is the same. In the body, it's an injury. With money, it's the kind of debt that gets out of hand. They behave almost identically. Each one limits what you can do and takes a long, dull time to recover from. And while you're carrying it, the next shock, the next surprise bill, is the one that actually takes you out. Staying clear of them isn't exciting, but it's a huge part of the whole thing. There's one more thing that falls out of all this, and it might be the most useful. The best plan, for your body or your money, isn't the perfect one. It's the one you'll actually keep doing. There's a strong pull to chase the ideal instead, the perfect training plan, the perfect mix of investments, the diet where every gram is measured. But a better plan you quit after a month is worth less than a rougher one you're still doing in a year. And the perfect plans tend to die the same few ways. Too complicated, too fiddly to keep track of, too long before they show you anything, or just no fun to do. What matters is whether you'll still be doing it once the newness wears off, not whether it looked best on paper. So getting fit and handling your money turn out to be the same skill. And it's not really about discipline or being clever. It's a small, steady thing you can keep up, and keep going even when it's boring or when it feels like nothing's happening. Protected from your own "I've earned it" and your urge to overdo it. And the people who manage it mostly aren't gritting their teeth. They've set it up so it barely needs willpower. The kit is by the door the night before. The money leaves the account on payday before it can be spent. Because in the end, your body and your money both reward the same boring thing more than any burst of effort. They reward you for not stopping.